Hi, dear Rachel. I switched on the on button and we're on
How
the air.
exciting. I'm confirming. I'm okay with that.
You were about to tell me all these exciting things, and I thought, why not record you?
I
I
love talking to you, Freed.
thank you. I love talking to you. You're an artist and an artist of life and an artist of colors and of writing, right?
Yes, making art of my life, documenting my life, finding like the little joys of every day.
hmm That's amazing. It's really amazing. I looked at your Instagram account and it's just like oh like a beautiful picture book, you know? It exudes happiness and I think it's an awesome project.
Yeah, and the Instagram is really just a little crumb of what I actually do for myself, like the practice of actually putting it into my journals and recording it, not just for my children and my family, but really more for me. It's like it's really just the stories of my life, and it's through photos and art and artifacts and postcards and feathers I find, and it's all just a little home that I've squished it all in. And it's satisfying to look through the years, and see where the similarities are of what I've been lit up about, and then seasons of things where I was really into one thing and then that isn't so much anymore, but it's so fun to look back on and then be recording new things.
Oh, I think it's so lovely that you do that and I wish I had met you earlier because life has just rushed by. You know, I'm 60 now, my kids are big and I wish I had recorded more. I had taken more time to hold on to the precious moments with like create traces, more visible and shareable traces. Because, you know, like there are important bits I carry in my heart, of course, but because of stress and trauma, you also sometimes just rush through it like through a corridor, you know what I mean?
Oh
And
yeah.
there are some precious moments you think you'll always remember them, but and sometimes I find a little picture or a little note and I think, oh God, I had forgotten about it. And now seeing your projects, I think, oh God, you know, everybody needs to know about your work because it's it's really it's like being very conscious about living this life, isn't it?
Well, I'll tell you, at 60, you're a spring chicken compared to my great grandma who started her practice at 90.
Oh,
And I don't know if you can see this, but on my wall of inspiration, I have a letter right here
yes.
that she typed up. And I keep it there, well, for many reasons. I'm named after her and I feel her essence in me. And my dad has always said that I remind him of her.
Mm.
And I actually knew her because she lived to be 107.
Oh, wow.
And her practice of, she started at 90, writing letters to her grandchildren. And I have been able to have a few of them from that she wrote to my dad. She includes just little snippets of poetry, or she'll describe her garden, what it's like to sit in her raspberry patch.
hmm
And just the few things that I have of hers mean so much to me.
hmm
I see those little details that she just took time just to write what it, she suspects that her raspberries are prolific because they're on an anthill, and she thinks that the ants tunneling underneath have created this soil that the raspberries just love. And I must have read that looking up at it from my journal thousands of times. And every time I just feel this little like tinge of love, of just feeling like I'm so grateful that she took the time to type that out to my dad. And now that I have it and I feel that, and my practice started when I was pregnant with my twins.
Mm.
And I just very non-intentionally just thought I would like to write them a letter. I want to introduce myself to them, and start recording what it feels like to feel them moving inside me and things like that. And I just found so much joy in recording those little details and then even looking back, a couple months later or a year later and just really feeling that oh, I may not have remembered this, or this is such a beautiful thing I can share with them someday, or my feelings about that have changed, and being able to see that like evidence of life
Hmm.
and then it just spilled over into as everything does. Like if you find joy in it, if you do it more and more, it's turned into quite the life practice.
Oh wow. And did you start writing or did you draw immediately? Have you always
Um,
drawn?
well, okay, so I have always identified as a creative person. I very much, my mom always said that like I was either a nose in a book or nose in the clouds. Imagination, and making up stories and writing and drawing pictures. But when I had a big span of my life when like my creativity was really just in my living, so I didn't draw as much as I just did creative choices. Um, and really loved that. But when I was pregnant or when I found out I was pregnant, I really just felt this need to document.
Hmm.
And I went to Michael's. I don't know if you have Michael's over there, but it's like a craft store. And I found this book called a Smash book. They don't make them anymore, but it was like a book that was filled with scrapbook paper that was like a notebook. So it wasn't a blank page. It already kind of looked cute.
Hmm.
It felt satisfying. And so I just ended up putting in like the first, ultrasound picture and a very scrawled out note of like what was happening. And you can see the progression through the books over, now it's 13, 14 years of this practice, 36 books complete. But you can see how things start to get more and more like, oh, let's try this. What happens if I do a border around this picture? And oh, you can see the day I got paints. And started thinking like, oh, what would happen if I matched the color of the sky to the page and painted over that? And
Hmm.
then, a couple books later, you see that I decided, well, what would happen if I wrote over the picture? And
Hmm.
so it's a beautiful timeline of the way creativity grows.
Hmm.
That Maya Angelou, she says, you can't use creativity up, but like the more you use, the more you have. Like it's that
It's
feeling.
like love, like love.
Like love. Yes. So I
Yeah.
mean now it's spilled over onto my walls and like down my staircase and my whole house is a collage.
Oh, that's lovely and so encouraging that you didn't wake up doing it, but that you grew into it.
Oh yeah, no, certainly not. It's a practice for sure. And
Yeah.
the workshops that I hold, many of the people that come will even say it's not so much about learning how to journal, but they are interested in learning how to notice their life.
Oh,
Like
so
like
lovely.
that's the practice is you start to look at your life for those moments that you might want to see and document and it's especially in hard times. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, but to be able to find it on in the really hard days,
Hmm.
um, it's very valuable.
Oh, it's lovely. Yeah. You can get an idea of what you're doing when one is looking at your, Instagram, and it's amazing. Yeah. Wow. And before I started recording, you said that um you display sometimes words. You were about to explain something, and then I said, "Oh, stop, stop, stop. I want to record that." So,
Oh,
can you
yes.
remember
Oh,
what that
okay.
was?
Yes. And this is in terms of I have a specific project I'm working on. I'm writing a book, and a lot of my thinking has gone into inspiration and space and stories. And one of my walls of my studio, I had pages of inspiration tacked up kind of everywhere, just paint samples and magazine covers that I would dream to be published in and all sorts of things. But as I kept looking up from writing and looking at it and almost getting distracted.
Hmm.
Um, it was beautiful, but it wasn't necessarily what I was writing about, which was my own life. And so I started this practice of scribbling and only I ripped off everything off the wall and I only have put up things that are my life that I have created, or
Mhm.
places, pictures that I have taken, words that I have written and spoke. And so now my entire wall behind me over here that I've been writing on has little messages from me and paintings that I've done, so that when I look up, it's a reminder, like, keep going. You're making art of your life, your experience.
Mhm.
And it's been a shift in energy that I can't even explain. Everything is flowing now. I feel I feel like for me, I have to see things and get them out of my body and onto a page, or into the journal, or onto the wall, and really kind of a constant redirect or a compass pointing me in the right direction,
Mhm.
or bringing me like a little smile. So this does that for me.
Wow. Cool.
And I don't thumbtack it. I just have little putty so you can move it around or take it off and you don't damage your walls. If you're worried about that sort of thing.
I hope not, but it's then you can be totally flexible, right? And it can be totally in response to your mood and what you need that day.
So would you believe that? Okay, this is kind of a funny little side story. So I had that wall that I was just talking about, how I had magazine covers up.
Hmm.
I've had that for 2 years.
Hmm.
And people would come and they'd be so inspired when they saw it, and it had a moment on the internet that people were pinning, loving it. And for a while it was very inspiring for me, but then I had almost like squeezed out all the inspiration and it wasn't doing it for me anymore. And
Mm.
so I had ripped everything down and kind of sat in the mess for a little bit of it all, of just kind of looking at the blankness and thinking like, well, what's next? What do I really need for my own inspiration? And that's when, with the writing of the book, I realized it was really more about my life I needed to be inspired by and not outside of it. So as I was sitting in the mess, the editor of the magazine that I had the cover up for years emailed me and said, "We want to put your studio in the magazine." As
Oh,
I'm looking at the blank wall.
that's
And
incredible.
I said, "This is the most divine shift of energy that I have ever experienced." Like, when I finally let go of like what it looked like for other people and I'm going to do it for me, then the energy comes up like, yes, you're on the right track.
Wow.
So over the next few days, I'm putting everything up for me. I'm feeling very energized, and I wrote to her and basically said, I'm very excited about this, and also I need you to know it looks nothing like the pictures that you had put online before. It looks totally different, but it's such a reflection of being an artist. Like this, that was a past version of myself, and now it reflects where I'm at. I hope you're okay with that. I sent her a couple pictures and she's like, yes. Yes, yes, absolutely.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's so exciting.
Yeah. So that's what I've been working on the last few days.
Wow. Yeah, it's so important to live our life and not to imitate someone else. And yet we do get to be inspired by others, It is like
Yes.
this dance between impulse and then creativity, because we always do stand on other people's shoulders,
Yes.
and but then if we don't take someone else or an idea like a measurement to live up to, but as a like a gift to just receive and then digest, maybe is not such a nice word, but then play with, and then let that be like a permission to play with it and create something
Oh,
new.
that's it. That's it, Fried, because this wall over here is all pages from other books
Hmm.
and other people's art. And the beautiful thing that I can do now is look at that and see what I've pulled, the color palettes,
Hmm. Yeah.
the composition.
Uh-huh.
um, you know, the ideas behind certain things, the natural world, the things that I loved that initially drew me to that. I love that I still have that wall where I can put it up, a fabric swatch. Oh, I love that purple. Because
Mhm.
then I can look over here and say, like, well, this is the art that I made out of that inspiration.
Mhm.
And so it is a delicate dance of not imitating, but being inspired and then making your own.
Yes, and sometimes it happens through imitation, like when you watch the little kids. Like I often think about how we learn our mother tongue and how we learn other languages. And we know that kids can feel and hear in the womb. So they feel the vibrations and they hear the mother tongue, and then they watch us produce the language, and then they imitate us, and we celebrate their imitation, and then they create while they imitate. And then you see with speech how imitation and creation go hand in hand all the time. And when they
Yeah.
start moving, it's like exploration. And yes, I think in the beginning, kids tend to not try to imitate, but they imitate and create immediately. And it's only when kindergarten or school or adults are stupid enough to interfere with the process do they then become frustrated or start comparing themselves. And then this imitation creativity dance gets damaged or destroyed even.
Oh, most of the women that come to my workshops are have stories of that, of they loved art when they were a child, and then something happened.
Hmm.
There's usually either like one teacher that stands out to them or one grown up that squashed it in that way of saying the wrong thing or not being encouraged, or something happened in that moment, or they just stopped creating. They stopped doing the art. They got busy or jobs or things. And then they have this calling to go back to it.
Hmm.
And it's that really interesting feeling. I used to teach horseback riding lessons,
Hmm.
and I actually wrote about this one time because children are so much easier to teach than adults
Hmm.
because the adults constantly want to know if they're doing it right.
Hmm.
Like, are my hands in the right place? Like, is this how I'm supposed to sit? And the children are just so delighted to be on the back of the horse and they just relax and they just move with the horse. They feel what's happening and it just comes very naturally in
Hmm.
a way. And they don't constantly ask, am I doing this right? Does it look right? And I feel the same with creativity and art in that way of when you lose that feeling, that relaxing in what it looks like and what it's going to be seen as. And that is the practice that we as creatives and artists and writers, to remember what our own voice sounds like and that feeling of like what you actually want your lines and things to do. It's very intimate.
Hmm. Hmm. It
And I
is.
agree with you about the imitating, like the most of my art lessons are for with children too are looking at some of the greats, like a Monet, and then we kind of examine like, oh, what do you think is happening in this sun, this spirally feeling? Like, let's experiment with what that feels like. What does the sun feel like to you? What would you do to look? And
Mhm.
it's so satisfying to hear their musings about it and their feelings about it. And even if we tried to recreate exactly some of these paintings,
Mhm.
they always are in the own style. You can tell that there's little differences in each one.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, wow. So you teach art classes too? I didn't know. Oh, wow.
Just sporadically. They trickle in. I have one student that I teach every Thursday, and I've been doing it for 3 years.
Mhm.
And he and I are creative muses for each other. He teaches me just as much as I
Mhm.
teach him.
Oh, that's something I've noticed. I taught English a few years back, and um, the questions that students have inspire new answers or new explorations, and they're just like gifts. And I've always said, oh, I want my life to go like an English lesson in some ways, because when I got questions and I didn't know the answer, I wasn't upset. I would just think, "Oh, that's really fascinating. I wonder what answer I will find," and I would explore. And I thought, what if I managed to approach life like that, to find these problems like interesting, and to wonder what solutions I would find instead of being upset that I didn't have the answer.
Yeah. Yes. And this man that I'm thinking of, this boy man, he's 21 now. I still call him a boy, but he's a man. And he has taught me so much about knowing himself. He's autistic,
Mhm.
and his choices in art are so different from my own, and we constantly challenge each other in that way of me asking him to stretch in one way and him knowing that he would like to use this color, and then I think, oh, I would like to try that too, and we our art looks so different at the end of a project, and we've both gone about it our own way but inspired each other and challenged each other to do different things.
Mhm.
And it has been a fascinating journey. His
Mhm.
art is just, he now supports himself with selling his art.
Wow.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So, do you have a tip that is totally doable, like on in one day, on how to start with writing or drawing?
Yes. I would say if there's anything that you already use, like a planner or a calendar or a post-it note or however you organize your life, or maybe if in your phone
Mhm.
even, I mean, take what you would find easy already and then just implement writing down like a few things from a conversation that stuck out to you, or a word that you heard,
Mhm.
or a lyric that you liked in a new song,
Mhm.
or if you're reading a sentence that really jumped out at you, or a moment in the day that someone said something to you that made you smile. Document it. Just write it down. Sometimes I put it in my notes, if I don't have a notebook,
Mhm.
or I have a little smaller calendar planner right
Mhm.
here.
Oh,
And I'm
oh, that's
constantly, so this is just
adorable.
it's a planner. I'll show you one of the empty pages,
Oh my
uh,
God.
if I can find one. Okay, so it's just a calendar,
Oh, that's just
and
real
I
count.
use it, I use it as my to-do list,
Oh my,
but then when I'm done,
it's a
I
piece of
cover it.
art.
Yeah. I will leave some of it so you can see like some of these are my actual to-do lists because I like to look back at those. But
Mhm.
then, I'll take something out of a magazine or doodle on the side or however I want to go back and cover it. It's a simple way because you can't get ahead of yourself. So you never have the worry that you have to sit down and do a bunch of pages. Like today's is very, this is what I'm doing today.
Yeah.
And and then tomorrow, it's empty, but then I'll have the joy of deciding what I want to keep out of that and
Uh-huh.
what I want to make art of.
Oh my God. What a glorious idea.
Okay, I'll show you one more little thing. There's a calendar on the beginning of every month. Show
Uh-huh.
you. And I just write down like one little thing in each square that I did that day or something. And it's the most fun to look back on. I'll show you my October one. Um, because it's just like, oh, look at all these beautiful one things that just happened that day.
Oh my God. What a great.
So,
And
you
this
know,
reminds me, I had a Latin book. I didn't like Latin that much. And so I actually cut out beautiful pictures and drew little pictures into my Latin book so that I would have a joyful thing inside of it. And I forgot about it.
oh my gosh,
Why did I
that's
ever get out of the habit?
well, now it sparked back up again.
Yes, thank you.
I think that's the easiest way to get started is whatever you're already kind of reaching for, and then you just implement a little practice, just a little thing,
Yeah,
and
I
then it
mean,
spills over.
we have that calendar anyway, and it looks boring and sometimes intimidating because of things in there that you find, oh my God, they're eating away from the day or something, you know. Oh, thank you for that tip.
Yes. And you can see like on the calendar, sometimes it's just as sweet as just outlining it in a colored pencil,
Mhm,
and just writing one thing, just one thing. What did you have for dinner?
mhm.
It's fun to look back on like, oh gosh, enchiladas, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll make that again tonight. It's just a delight. It's a delight to look back on. Today's square will say, talk with Freed.
Oh, lovely. Oh, wow. Thank you so much for sharing this. That's amazing.
Mhm.
And
Yes, and then you move into the big books. This is the one I'm working in right now, and it's just giant, and
oh,
it's so
wow.
fun.
And that was just an empty a book with empty pages that you.
Yeah, I make these. This is a grocery bag, this brown, I just sew in random watercolor and old book pages. Like this is I don't know if you can tell, but this is from an old school from 1920.
Oh.
I found in a garage sale, sheet music.
Oh.
And this is just a cereal box that I covered with, this is somebody's scrubs from a hospital that I found at a thrift store. It was just a shirt. So I cut it up and pasted it in.
Oh, wow. And you teach classes on how to journal.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh, cool. I'll put the link into the info box.
Oh, yeah. I have a class, an online class on how to make these journals it's $15. So
Oh my God.
very
It's a
on
no-brainer.
how to actually make them, and it's very
And
simple.
and it's for beginners, as it were.
Yes. Yes. If you can fold paper and use glue, you can do it.
That sounds doable.
Yeah. But my boys work in their journals and they just fold up paper. It's
Mhm.
anything that you have. It's very, I mean, sometimes I pull paper out of the trash and write on it, and it's kind of a delight once it gets filled up.
Cool. And I see that you have all these exciting supplies in your room. It just looks like a treasure box.
It is exactly what it is. It's a treasure box. And I, as I'm writing this article for this magazine, it had me kind of go back in time, and it did not start out looking like this and having this many supplies. It started out with a little tote box of colored pencils and a glue stick, and it has spilled into just finding, I mean, and most of this stuff, most of it is thrifted, actually. I'll go to the art supply section, or people will give away their stuff on marketplaces and online, and I just try it out and bring it to classes and have other people try it out. I have workshops in my house and they come and they play with it, and
Hmm.
yeah, it's it builds.
That's encouraging because there isn't there the saying Rome wasn't built in a day or something.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and it certainly was not. It went from the tote to a little desk,
Hmm.
and then from the desk to a room,
Hmm.
and now it's taken over the house.
Oh, so it's also baby steps. I'm the queen of baby steps like when I work with language, which I don't do that much anymore right now, but um yeah, so just one sound at a time, so that you don't get overwhelmed. Um and today maybe you'll draw a little ukulele into the box with talking with Fred because
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
before I turned on the recording, I tried to inspire you to pick
You
up.
did.
Yeah, and there I go also like a chord, one chord at a time and one sound at a time and one strum at a time to not get overwhelmed. And so it's just like one colored pencil at a time. Well, thank you, Rachel, for talking to me. That was lovely.
Thank you. Oh, yes.
I'm looking forward to next time.
Always. Always.
Okay, I'll turn off the recording now. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.